Another top-tier NASCAR ride is off the market. Colleague Racing confirms their third Xfinity driver. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. Big story of the day is Colleague Racing announcing their third Xfinity Series driver. I'll tell you why Colleague has the best driver lineup going into this coming Xfinity Series season. But before we get to that, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future episodes. The NASCAR offseason is here, but things are not slowing down in any sense of the word. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of the upcoming news. And before we talk about Colleague, a couple other stories I want to hit on real quick. First and foremost, right now, as I'm recording this at least, and probably while you're watching it, not sure how long the test is actually going to go for, but yes, the next gen car is actually being tested at Charlotte Motor Speedway on the 1.5 mile configuration. One Ford, one Chevy, and one Toyota. Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, and Christopher Bell are making laps in the next gen to prepare for next week's big test with all the teams. They'll do another 1.5 mile test at Charlotte to work on some stuff from the most recent test a few weeks ago. This is a pre-test, if you will, and I'm not entirely sure what they're working on. There have been rumors that they might up the horsepower a little bit. It does sound like today they're testing some different fins on the back with the spoiler to see how that affects the air, affects the handling of the cars. Josh Hamilton on Twitter yesterday posted this really cool clip showing basically the guts of the next gen car as behind the scenes of a view as you can get. A couple people noted, especially there on the right side of the spoiler, that it seems to be extended further out than it originally was. This seems to be one of the other things NASCAR is testing, or at least considering testing, an attempt maybe to add some side force to the car without messing with the overall symmetry of the body. So we'll see if that might be what they're testing right now. That might be what they test next week. So we'll see what effects, what kind of feedback the drivers give. We'll have more to talk about after the actual test next week. Some more big news this week. Josh Williams will race full-time for BJ McLeod Motorsports next year in the Xfinity Series. He will move from the 92 to the 78. Pretty good move if you ask me. Josh Williams, a solid enough driver. I think that pairing with BJ McLeod is going to be great. I mean, look at this image of the two from the video they posted. I mean, they look kind of mean. Couple guys I don't think I'd want to mess with right there. So, I mean, as far as optics go, I think this is a great pairing. As far as on-track performance, that remains to be seen. Everyone loves BJ McLeod. I think what he's trying to do with not only his Xfinity Series teams, but also his Cup Series team, Live Fast Motorsports, is admirable. So I think this could be a good pairing for Josh Williams, but we'll have to wait and see what they do on track next year. Now, I want to focus on the big silly season news of the day. Colleague Racing has confirmed that Landon Cassill will drive the number 10 next year in the Xfinity Series full-time. Remember, Adam Stern reported last week that Landon Cassill was the likely leading candidate to land this ride. Now it has been confirmed by the team, and there's some wrinkles, some twists to this one. For one, Landon Cassill will be paid entirely in cryptocurrency. He's bringing with him Voyager as a major sponsor, so that's where that connection comes from, of course. Now, my first question was, is Voyager paying Colleague in crypto? And no, according to Adam Stern, they're paying them in US dollars. But Landon Cassill, for the second year in a row, will be the first, and to my knowledge, the only NASCAR driver to be paid exclusively in crypto. It's an interesting concept. Like I said last week, I am not the guy to ask about cryptocurrency. I don't know much about the industry or the crypto community, if you will. I do know that Landon Cassill has been heavily involved in that community for a number of years now, so this partnership feels very organic, and I gotta believe Landon Cassill is confident in what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He understands the risks associated with it. So whatever you may think about Bitcoin or other major cryptocurrencies, you know, some say it's a scam, others say it's unquestionably the money of the future. Like, I don't know, the truth is probably somewhere in between. I think it's safe to say Landon Cassill understands the risks and the potential rewards for doing this. Either way, this is a tremendous opportunity on the racetrack. This is the best opportunity Landon Cassill has had in like 12 or 13 years to win races in any of the top levels of NASCAR. So from that standpoint, this is a huge, huge win for Landon Cassill. I don't have much more to add on from what I said last week. Landon Cassill has absolutely paid his dues. He has been around longer than most people realize. He's only 32 years old, but people remember he was a development driver at Hendrick in his teenage years, made some part-time starts for Junior Motorsports. That's like the best opportunity until now that he's had in NASCAR. The man has made more than 500 starts across mostly the NASCAR Cup and Xfinity Series. He has experience, he's paid his dues, he's spent the vast majority of that time racing for lesser teams, underfunded equipment, in some cases literal start and park equipment. Like, he has grinded, he has been around, he's earned the reputation that he has for being a steady, consistent, reliable, accountable driver, a team player. And when you think team players, a team-focused environment, you think of Kaulig Racing. You've seen the last couple of years how that team seems to rally behind each other. They all support each other, from drivers to drivers, team owners, team presidents, PR. Everyone in that team is there for the greater good of Kaulig, it feels like. So plugging Landon Cassill into that kind of environment seems like a no-brainer. I think this is a genius move for Kaulig. Obviously, they're bringing some funding with it, so that's good for them as well. But Cassill is a steady driver who's going to be driven to get his first NASCAR win next year, and I think he'll fit in very nicely with AJ Allmendinger and Daniel Hemrick. Let's talk about that for a moment, because right now, if you ask me, Kaulig Racing has the best driver lineup of any Xfinity Series team going into 2022. And I don't even think it's that close. Like, I think the only team anywhere remotely close to them is Junior Motorsports, who of course is going to have Justin Allgaier, who's a perennial contender, Noah Gragson, who's back for like his, fourth or fifth Xfinity year. He's becoming a veteran. Josh Berry is great, especially at the short tracks. We all know that. Sam Mayer, young, got a lot to prove, got a lot to rebound from after a struggle this year. Junior Motorsports is pretty good, but you look at Kaulig. Kaulig is a team of veterans. AJ Allmendinger will be 40 years old by the time next year starts. We know he's a great road course racer. I think now it's safe to say he is the best road course racer in the Xfinity Series now that Austin Cindric has graduated up to Cup. He also won races at ovals last season. They've got Daniel Hemrick, who will be 31 years old by the time next year starts. Hemrick, we all know him as the super consistent guy. He broke through at the end of this season to win his first race and of course win the championship. The man has been to 3 Xfinity Series Championship 4s. You know he knows how to get it done, even though he may not always find victory lane, but he's a solid veteran, consistent presence. And Landon Cassill, now 32 years old, in the prime of his driving career. He's got something to prove now that he's in the best opportunity of his, probably of his entire NASCAR career. Kaulig Racing, without question, has the best all-around driver lineup going for them in the Xfinity Series next season. That is reason to be excited. You know, Joe Gibbs Racing's got Brandon Jones and probably Ty Gibbs, and I like Ty Gibbs a lot, but he's 19 years old. He's going to make those rookie mistakes next year. RCR, they've got Sheldon Creed and Austin Hill next year. I think that's going to be a pretty exciting combo, but it doesn't hold a candle to the veterans at Kaulig. I know it's early, but I wouldn't be surprised if all 3 Kaulig drivers make it to the round of 8 next season and a couple make it to the championship 4. They're the best team in the Xfinity Series right now. They are the bar. They will be the ones to set the tone next year. We'll see if any other teams can match them, but I'm very excited for Landon Cassill. If you couldn't comprehend that already, this is easily his best opportunity to win in NASCAR since he was a teenager, pretty much. So I'm excited for him. Jeb Burton, who Cassill is effectively replacing, has not yet announced his 2022 plans, although when he was on our show a few weeks ago, a couple months ago, he seemed confident that he would have something to announce very soon. Some fans were debating his performance in the Xfinity Series, and he tweeted that I ran 18 races with Junior Motorsports, 14 of them were top 10s. I enjoyed my time. I enjoyed my time in the 10 car also. We won. I'm happy for Landon, he's a good dude. Racing is a business. Everything happens for a reason, and I'm happy with my path. So no real hard feelings there. Jeb Burton's been around long enough. He knows how this system works. I'm hopeful he lands a solid truck or Xfinity Series opportunity next year. I'd be happy to see that, but I'm very happy for Landon Cassill. Pressure's on now, obviously. For the last decade or so, decade and a half, the commentary around Cassill has been, he always does the most in underfunded equipment, but if we could just get him in a contender, he would immediately show us what he's really got. He's going to have to do that next year in a car that, yes, did win a year ago at Talladega, but is capable of making a deep playoff run. He's going to have the best opportunity in a long, long time, but that means the pressure is higher now than it's been maybe ever, or at least since he was a teenager. But at 32 years old, expectations are very high for Landon Cassill. Share your thoughts down below. Are you happy about this decision to put Landon Cassill in the 10? Are you skeptical perhaps? What are your expectations like for that team next season? Who is the best team in the Xfinity Series? I think it's Kaulig Racing based on their driver lineup alone, but let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Anyway, y'all, that's going to do it for this shorter episode of Out of the Groove. Appreciate y'all watching. As always, a huge thank you to my amazing Patreon supporters. Couldn't do this show without your tremendous support every single month. I greatly appreciate what y'all have done for me all year long. Thank you so much. Likely will be another episode up tomorrow. I know Stuart Haas has an announcement they're making. I believe it's just a major sponsor announcement, but still pretty interesting. But if any other big news breaks, we'll be here to talk about it on Out of the Groove. Thanks for watching, y'all. I'll see you again very, very soon.